because you live on a budget, who says that you should be stuck with eating canned soup or mac and cheese out of a box? Today, I'm going to show you how to make something elegant, like at a fancy restaurant, that will make your taste buds explode. Stick around to see how. To Leila's International Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make an easy, impressive, restaurant quality French onion soup with all the secrets for the best flavor. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and tell your friends about my channel. Let us start. First, big surprise, you need onions. For 2 servings, I'm using 2 large onions. It's better to use yellow onions because as they caramelize, they release the perfect amount of sweetness. Now, it's time to slice them. Done. I'm gonna caramelize them now. In many recipes, they add sugar, but you don't need to do that. If you caramelize your onions on low heat, you will get the same result without adding the sugar. I'm adding a tablespoon oil. I'm adding the onions. It looks like a lot, but it's gonna shrink. I prefer caramelize my onions at low heat. I know it takes longer, but trust me, you're gonna get perfect caramelized onions. When it comes to French onion soup, many people think the flavor comes from the onion, which is not exactly the case. The complexity of the flavor comes from a good beef stock. That's why it's best to use homemade beef stock. When you see a deep brown color, it means your caramelized onions are done. Our onions are almost done. I'm gonna add the garlic. I'm gonna saute for another minute. Then I'm adding 1 teaspoon of flour. The flour is going to help the soup thicken and give more body to the soup. I cooked it for another minute. Now it's time to add the shot of dry sherry or brandy. This is optional for getting better flavor, but if you do not have it at home, you can skip it. Scrape the bottom of the pan to get all the great onion flavor and continue to cook it for about 1 minute. Next, add 2 cups of beef stock or beef broth. If you don't have access to beef stock, you can use 1 to 2 cubes of beef bouillon mixed with hot water to make the stock. If you're vegetarian, you can use vegetarian stock. Season the soup with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and add a few bay leaves. Bring it to a boil and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. It's time to plate the soup. First, I'm going to remove the bay leaves. My kitchen smells amazing. Once the onions are caramelized, you don't smell the harsh scent of raw onions. I'm going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. For the bread topping, it's traditional to use a baguette. But if you don't have a baguette, you can use any kind of bread that you like. Today, I'm going to use my homemade bread. I'm going to toast them first because I don't want to end up with a soggy bread. Before putting the bread in the oven, I brush the bread with olive oil so it will brown more nicely. Once your bread has been toasted into a crouton, this is the color that you're looking for. Now it's time to assemble it. First, sprinkle some cheese into the soup, then put the bread on top. As the final step, add the top layer of cheese. The best cheese for French onion soup is Gruyere. I'm adding about 1/2 cup of shredded Gruyere for each bowl of soup, but it's up to you how cheesy you want your soup to be. It will cook at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes or until the cheese is melted and bubbly on top. Here is the final result. It's beautiful, isn't it? Many people think French onion soup is just an appetizer, but it's much more than that. With beef stock, bread, cheese, and onions, it's enough for a light meal. I hope you enjoy this elegant, inexpensive, and if you hold back a bit on the cheese, healthy dish. Bon appetit!